If you sometimes feel lonely and don't have the relationships you want, this video is for you. My name is Oliver. I've been a coach that's helping people beat loneliness and build the confidence and social skills to build the relationships of their dreams. And I'm gonna share with you the 3 things that helped me personally go from totally alone and so alone that I was ready to end my own life to now having my wife in an amazing social circle that keeps me very happy and fulfilled, because I want that for you too. So let's get into it. There are 3 key things that make social skills very easy to be successful with. And understand, it's not something you're born with. It is a learnable system, and that's exactly what I'm going to share with you today. It's comprised of 3 things. Number 1 is your state. This is how you feel, your emotional state. The vibes you bring into an interaction are a huge determiner of how you are perceived. Next, speech. This is how you say and what you say, using your voice and the actual structure of a really good conversation. The kinds of conversations that land you high quality dates and help you network and build an incredible social circle. Next is reps. This is actually taking action, because if you learn all of these amazing tools but you don't put them into practice, how else will you get better? So let's jump in to number 1, state. So in order for you to master your state, there are 3 things that you need. You need a good physiology, you need good language, and you need good focus. So let's break these each down. What does physiology mean? It's just a fancy word for the way that you use your body. So let's talk about posture. For example, if I'm hunched over, my head is down, and I'm breathing shallow and I'm quiet, how am I likely to feel? Am I gonna feel good or bad? Am I bringing good vibes to the function or not so much? This is putting me into a state of depression and anxiety and tension and discomfort, and that's not the kind of vibes you wanna bring. I think you can understand that. So we need to master our physiology, the way we use our body. Now, if you've been in a depressive state or you've been stuck with social anxiety, you have conditioned yourself to have poor physiology. That means you're hunched over. That means you're cutting off your circulation and your energy and your power. We can't do that anymore. You have to reprogram yourself. You have to recondition yourself to be bringing good energy to every interaction that you're a part of. So what is good physiology? Let's model that. Well, what that looks like is it looks like shoulders back, chest up, and I'm head up, I'm breathing full. In through my nose, out through my mouth, nice and comfortable, full deep breaths. This allows my circulation and my breath to flow evenly and comfortably through my body, which gives me power. It makes me feel good. It pumps confidence chemicals through my body. There's real biochemistry behind this. When I have good physiology, I look confident. I look more attractive. I set a good impression, and it feels good. I literally want you right now to try it, whether you're sitting down or standing up or whatever you're doing. Try those 2 different postures. Try slouched over right now. Put your shoulders down, put your head down, breathe shallow, and just notice what that feels like for a moment. All right, enough of that, right? Doesn't feel that good. Next, open your shoulders, put them back, put your chest up. You don't need to do this. You don't need to overdo it. You should still be relaxed, but breathe nice and deep. Shake it out maybe a little bit, right? But notice how with this posture, you're already feeling better. You're bringing better vibes. So this is something that you need to recondition yourself for. I used to slunch over all the time. I had to constantly retrain my body to work in a physiology that was bringing good vibes to myself so I could deliver that for other people. So that's physiology. Next, we have language. The language that we use makes a huge impact on how we feel and how we make other people feel. So let's say you're trying to put yourself out there, and maybe a conversation gets a little dry. You kind of run out of things to say. Maybe your mind blanks and it feels awkward. And you can kind of tell the other person feels awkward, and then it kind of dies off and they're like, okay, anyways, nice to meet you. I gotta go, right? And you're like, oh, fuck, right? It's that awkward moment. What language you choose to use to describe what just happened will massively change your state and how you feel. For example, if I take that awkward moment and I use the language of, oh my God, that was horrible. I just was completely humiliated. Oh God, I'm such a fucking idiot, right? What is that gonna do to my state? That's gonna make me feel like shit. I'm gonna feel ashamed. I'm gonna feel like a problem, a burden, because of those intense negative words like horrible, like humiliating. Now, instead, let's say I had that little awkward moment, and instead of calling it this complete humiliation, I say, you know what? That was a little funny. That was a little awkward. That was kind of silly. I'm already using lighter language, kind of fun, kind of playful. Like, yeah, I'm still owning the fact that it was awkward. That's fine. I'm human. I'm being honest. But I'm like, that was kind of funny, right? Like, I kind of like froze up and looked a little silly. Like that was, and then she was like, oh my God, oh. It's kind of funny, right? At the end of the day, the same event happened. The language I am choosing, remember, it's a choice, I'm choosing to use, is wildly different. And how do you think I'm gonna feel when I'm saying, oh, that was silly, that was a little funny? What's that gonna do to my state? Like, yeah, I'm owning the awkward, like, oh, that was awkward, but I'm smiling about it. I'm bringing lightness, levity. I'm not making it a huge deal. And because I'm not making it a huge deal, it doesn't feel like one. And I can continue to feel good and uplifted. Next, let's talk about focus, right? Because let's say with that same conversation, I had like a 2-minute conversation before it went stale. Am I focusing on the 5 seconds where it died off and got awkward? Or am I focusing on, you know what? I just had a 2-minute conversation that was decent. Maybe I'm kind of scared of putting myself out there and approaching people like most people are. But I did it. I had the courage. I had the balls to say hi to that pretty girl. Or to say hi to that person that just seemed like a cool person I was intimidated to talk to. Right? Fuck yeah, man. I did that shit. Right? Just because I didn't find my wife in the very first person I talked to, right? That doesn't mean that wasn't a win. Based on how I'm choosing to focus, that same event can be seen as a win or a failure. That's why focus is so important. I want you to train yourself to find the wins, find the blessings, to appreciate when you do good things, when you get out of your comfort zone and you go and you say hi. Why? Because that's going to reinforce you to do it again. And the more reps you have, the more opportunities you create to meet people, the more likely you are to meet great relationships. And that's what I want for you. So that's why physiology, the language, the words you choose, and what you're focusing on makes a huge impact on your state. And if you understand socializing, you know that state is everything. I can literally walk up to somebody and say nothing, but just walk up to them and just have this look on my face like, me doing that, likely a lot of you watching actually started to smile or laugh when I did that. I didn't say a word. I just started generating this fun, playful, mischievous energy, and you're like, oh, what's this guy doing, right? State is everything, and you need to focus on the right physiology and language in order to master your state, and this will make a huge difference. Okay, in the next section is about mastering your speech. This is broken up into 2 parts. We have your voice, your speaking voice, and the actual ability to hold the conversation. So let's start by teaching about the voice. So your voice is one of your best tools for communication and expressing good energy, as well as confidence and making good impressions. And if you have a bad voice, people will not want to listen to you. They will literally be repelled from you. They will be waiting for you to shut up. And I promise you, that's not the impression you want to have. So we want to make sure that we have a good speaking voice. Now, for some of you watching, you might hear my voice and be like, Oliver's got a pretty good voice. I wish I could speak like him. You might be surprised to hear that I used to be a monotone mumbler that nobody could really hear or wanted to hear. People constantly asked me, hey, you say that again? Like, what? Can you speak up? And I just felt embarrassed, and I would just shrink even more. And when people have to ask you to repeat yourself because they can't even hear you, they're already exhausted talking to you. So we want to make sure that we're mastering our voice, and there are 4 main components to doing so. The first one is tonality. What does tonality mean? It means the actual pitch of your voice. So I can have a high tonality, high pitch, and all the way down to a low tonality. So tonality is the way you use pitch, okay? So we want to use that in a way that keeps people interested and engaged when we are speaking. So what is an example of bad tonality? Monotone. A lot of people speak monotone. What is that? It's when I speak in just one pitch and, hi everybody, my name's Oliver, it's good to meet you, blah, blah, blah. You sound like a robot, it's boring, it's dry, and it communicates that you almost don't even want to be there. Now, we don't want to go too crazy with tonality and having variance in our voice, because then you can start to sound kind of fake or a little weird, a little clown-like. Like, hi everybody, I'm speaking like this with a lot of tonality for you to hopefully keep your attention. And it's like, oh my God, this guy's weird, right? Like that's way too far. But we want to have some natural variance in our tonality. Notice how I speak throughout the course of this video. I'm speaking starting low, and then I'm going high, and then I make an interesting point here, and then I kind of work it back down the pitch and come here, and then I say this, and then I finish here, right? Like there's an interesting amount of variance in my pitch that just keeps you a little bit more interested while it's not too over the top. Also, huge key here, when you end your point or end your sentence, when you're speaking, you want to make sure that your tonality comes down. Why is this? Because if I speak like this, where my tonality is going up at the end of my sentence, you might think I'm asking a question, but I don't really know if I'm asking a question or not. Hi, my name's Oliver. It's just like, first of all, it's a little weird. It also communicates that I'm unsure about what I'm saying, that I'm not confident, that I don't know why I'm there. And again, that you want to be communicating confidence, not the opposite. We want to make sure that we're having a comfortable amount of variance in our pitch while also ending on a downturn at the end of our sentence. It's something you're going to need to practice. Just like these other ones. Pacing is the next one. What does that mean? That means the speed or the rhythm of what we're saying. So if I come up to somebody, I'm like, hi, my name's Oliver. It's really good to meet you. How's the weather today? Oh my God, like, where are you from? Like, what's going on? People will be like, what are you doing? Like, wow, they'll be overstimulated. It'll feel like a lot of pressure. They'll be confused as to why you're speaking like a jackrabbit. It's just, it'll stress them out, and that's not how you want to make people feel, right? You want to find a good balance in pacing. At the same time, I don't want to speak too slow, especially in today's internet age, because people's attention span is really short. And you're probably already getting irritated at how slow that is. It's too slow. So when it comes to pacing, and just like all of these, we want to find a nice middle ground that's balanced, that sounds nice, that's comfortable. So you notice I'm speaking relatively quickly because I'm trying to teach something and hold your attention on a social media video. But in real life, I might speak just a little bit slower just to really demonstrate that I can be comfortable with a bit of silence, and I really want you hanging on after each word that I say. So I might speak a little bit slower like this just to really make sure I'm locking them in with their attention. Next, volume. If I'm speaking like this, you probably can't hear me. You probably need to speak a little bit louder. And if I'm speaking like this, sorry headphone users, I apologize. But understand that volume is another thing that you need to modulate and keep balanced. Now, where you are, what environment you're in massively changes this. If I'm in a library, I want to be speaking a bit more like this, like, hey, what's your name? Nice to meet you. Versus like, if I'm speaking like this in a library, I'm going to get kicked out very quickly. Same goes if I'm in a club where there's loud music blaring and I'm like, hey, what's up? My name's Oliver. People will be like, what? Oh, I'm Oliver. Nice to meet you. What? That they're going to be tired of asking what, and they're going to go move on. So if I'm in the club, I need to learn how to project my voice. Hey, my name's Oliver. Oh, Oliver, nice to meet you. And so on. That's something that you're gonna learn through reps and practice, and people will give you feedback. If they literally can't hear you, they will be like, what? And you'll know you're not being loud enough. And for a lot of you that have been a bit stifled and a bit shut down and a bit isolated, you're probably quieter than you think. You might even think you're screaming when you talk a little bit louder, but in reality, you're talking in a normal voice, right? You're probably speaking too quiet, most of you. Next, we have quality. We want a nice quality to our voice that is relaxing, soothing, sexy, charismatic, okay? So there's two different directions you can go with this. On the low end, we have a very airy voice. The difference between the two voices here is how much air we're using and how much vocal cord vibration. So with the airy voice, you probably don't want to talk like this because I kind of sound some like weird spiritual kind of guru who's got my head up in the clouds and you don't really know if you can trust what I'm saying and it just sounds a little funny. And then on the other side of the spectrum, with too much vocal cord vibration and not enough air coming through, I'm gonna start to sound really harsh. I might even start to sound like Ben Shapiro and very nasally and very like, it's like, oh, it hurts the ears. Who wants to listen to that, right? So we need to find a good balance between the two. So just like all of these, if you fall somewhere in the middle range, you're doing good. You don't have to be perfect with your voice. And the way that my voice sounds may not necessarily be what your best voice sounds like. If you're unsure about how you want your voice to sound, I want you to think about the speakers that you've listened to that you really enjoy listening to and model after them. Practice speaking with the same tonality, pacing, volume, and quality that they do. And over time, you're gonna start to mold your voice around speakers who are very good speakers. And your voice is gonna start to sound better. And in that process, you'll start to find your own style that feels natural and works for you. Now, the number one best exercise I could possibly give you to master your voice is to literally take your phone, set it up, record yourself speaking. Pull up the Declaration of Independence or some random page in a book and read it. Read it in a way that sounds interesting, that's captivating, that's entertaining. And then watch back your recording and ask yourself, would I enjoy listening to this person? Is this entertaining to me? Or do they sound boring or unconfident or annoying or anything like that? And it's okay to get honest with yourself. We're not looking for perfection off the bat. We're looking for growth and improvement. This is exactly what I did. I used this exercise to go from this monotone mumbler who just sounds like he's just depressed all the time. He doesn't give a fuck about anything and anyone, to a person that you're seeing now who has a very powerful, engaging, captivating voice, and people love listening to me speak. This wasn't natural for me. I wasn't born that way. I had to practice this. I earned this voice through practice, and you can do the same, and it's actually easier than you might think. So let's talk about the next part of mastering your speech, conversation. For a lot of you, you probably get into moments where your mind blanks, you don't know what to say next, and it feels kind of awkward in conversation. You're like, man, I wish I knew what to say. Well, I'm going to teach you that right now. The first step, one of the easiest ways to never run out of quality things to say in good conversation is asking really good open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions that start with how, what, why, where, versus things like do, are, is, etc., right? For example, I say like, do you like the party we're at? Yes. Like that close-ended question has a very close-ended answer. It's like, I can answer it in one word, and then where do we go from there? It's like, well, so when we ask open-ended questions, we open the door for more rich and involved answers. How do you like the party? Yeah, I like it. It's fun. I'm having a good time. Then that leads into our next tool, which I call breadcrumbing. It's one of the best socializing conversation tools you could possibly learn. So what is breadcrumbing? Well, let's go with that same example. How are you liking the party? Let's say they give that really basic answer. They're not giving me a ton to work off of. Oh yeah, I like it. Like, I'm having a good time. If I breadcrumb, what does that mean? It means I'm picking out a detail of what they've said and I'm diving deeper into it. Because when people speak, they're not giving the full story, right? So, I'm having a good time. Oh yeah, like what's been a highlight of the night so far? Have you met anybody cool? I've just stacked another open-ended question using breadcrumbing based upon what answer they gave me. It helps open up and deepen the conversation more and more. Oh yeah, I met this person named John. He was super cool. He had he like rides motorcycles or something. I'm like, oh no way, motorcycles. Let me breadcrumb. Have you ever ridden a motorcycle? Oh, you know what? I never have ridden one, but I've always wanted to. That's why, I'm thinking about, buying one soon. No way. You're thinking about buying a motorcycle soon? That's another technique that you can use to breadcrumb, is just repeating the thing that they just said. Oh, you're thinking about buying a motorcycle soon? Yeah, I am. There's this really cool model. I want to drive it up, the coast, right? And so I can keep breadcrumbing. Oh, the coast, no way. You like to travel a lot? Yeah, I like to travel. I just recently went to here and there. And boom, I can breadcrumb and keep that conversation going literally infinitely if I want to. And what's really cool about that is I don't have to do the work. This is a lazy man's favorite tool, is breadcrumbing, because I don't have to do all the talking and the sharing. In fact, I just have to come up with like one good question at a time, and then they can rant and ramble. And as long as I'm enjoying the conversation, it's going really well, And that kind of goes to this point here, where we want to be more interested than interesting. Why is this important? Because when you're focusing all on yourself and, I need to be this perfect, most world's interesting man and have all these incredible stories to tell and entertain people constantly like a dancing monkey. First of all, that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. Who wants to feel like that? Second of all, you're making it all about you. It's a little narcissistic. People don't really generally care about you if they don't know you. But they do care about themselves and what they're interested in. So if you focus on being interested in them, who they are, what they like to do, you're going to get much better results than trying to be the interesting one. And it's so much easier too. Better results and easier. Highly recommend you take that approach. And these questions in breadcrumbing do that naturally. When the conversation is 80-90% you asking questions about them, and them talking about things that they love or are passionate or authentic to them, they're going to feel really valued and appreciated by you because you're giving them all that attention. They're going to be like, wow, this guy actually cares. Like, thank you. Think about it. It's hard to get people to actually care about you, especially nowadays with social media. Think about all of the influencers you will never see on social media that are like selling their souls, trying to create something entertaining enough to go viral. All of those failed influencers. They're trying every day their hearts out just to get you to pay 5-10 seconds of attention, and you swipe right by, you could care less. Is that because you're a bad person? No, it's because your attention is valuable and you're only gonna focus on the things that you are interested in. It's rare to get people who actually give a fuck about us. So when you can offer that to people, you are offering endless value, and the question of how do I add value? Am I a burden? Will disappear. Because when you get enough evidence that you taking interest in other people is more than enough to add value and to get people to really enjoy talking to you, you'll see how easy this is. Another last point about conversations is compliments. In fact, if you want to approach somebody, if you want to open somebody and talk to somebody you've never spoken to, one of the best ways to do it is to just start with a compliment, right? Make it genuine though, don't lie. If I like their shirt, be like, hey dude, your shirt's super dope. Or if this pretty girl has a great smile, I'll be like, hey, you have this really beautiful smile. I saw from across the room. I just want to let you know that. Like, oh, thank you. Like, that's so sweet. That's so nice. And it's personalized. It's genuine. That makes people feel really good, valued, and appreciated. And boom, you've already created massive rapport and connection within the first sentence of speaking to somebody. That's going to start a conversation off really good, right? I love your smile. It's so genuine. So it, fills up the room. Oh my God, thank you. My name's Oliver, by the way. What's your name? Oh, my name's Ashley. Oh, Ashley, it's so great to meet you. And then boom, ask an open-ended question like where are you from? Or like, what brought you here? Like if you're at a party, like, and so on and so forth. And then conversation just takes itself from there. And you know what? Really good conversations is the key to building new relationships. Whether you're single and you're trying to date, or you're just trying to build friends and network, good conversations is everything. Because when you have a really good conversation with somebody where you both are vibing around things you're passionate about and you're having a lot of fun and you just naturally click, that's a person you're gonna wanna spend more time around. And they're naturally going to want to spend more time around you. And once that conversation has been fun and fulfilling and really authentically connecting, all you have to do is ask for their contact. Like, hey, we should go hang out sometime, or we should go do this thing that we both found out we enjoy doing. Or I found this place, I'd love to take you out. What's your number? Very simple, very, very easy. Once the good conversation is there, asking for a number and creating a date just happens naturally. The difference about whether somebody wants to do that with you, wants to go on a date with you, wants to hang out with you, is how good was your conversation. Because if they're like, oh yeah, we could do that. They're just trying to people please you and give you what you want, but really you can tell they're not going to follow up. Or if they end up saying they will, but then ghosting you and flaking, it's probably because your conversation wasn't deep enough, wasn't intimate, wasn't fun enough, wasn't as engaging. And that's because you're still learning how to use these tools. And I'll tell you what, you will never run out of dates or people to hang out with if you get really good at these tools. I promise you. They're universal and they work with anybody, anywhere, anytime. So let's move on to the third part. Okay, the last part. It's very obvious, very simple, reps. This is about going out and practicing the tools that we just talked about. I can guarantee you 100%, if you never leave your home and you never go say hi to anybody new, you will never get the loving relationships and the intimate relationships you desire. It will never happen. You will never become that confident, successful communicator. So we have to put this stuff into practice. You have to actually go out of the house and go say hi to people and try and fail and allow things to go poorly so that things can go well. I had to do this as well. When I first started learning social skills and trying to connect, I was awkward. I wasn't good at it. People didn't want to talk to me very much. But you know what? The more reps I got, the more practice I got at using my voice, using those conversation tools, mastering my state and making myself and then others feel good around me. And the better I got at that, the better results I got. The more people started smiling, laughing, enjoying being around me. All of a sudden, people started asking me to hang out, started inviting me to things, started asking for my contact. I couldn't believe it. Before, I had this belief that I was just this awkward loser who nobody would ever want to be around. And then I started getting real evidence that that wasn't the case. And that helped transform my identity as that awkward loner to somebody who is worthy of love and connection. And that identity has to shift in order for you to actually attract real love and real relationships. It has to happen. And it won't happen if you're not getting reps, okay? Reps turn theory into results. Meaning, if you take action on the theory you learned in this video, I guarantee you, you will start getting results. Maybe at first, they're not exactly the results you want. Maybe it is some awkward conversations and awkward moments, but I guarantee you, you will continue to get better if you just keep trying. You keep putting yourself out there and realize that you don't have to, remember going back to the focus in terms of our state, if you focus on, hey, I had the courage to even say hi, even though it was a total disaster. I will modulate the language there. But even though it didn't go as well as I wanted to, I still had the courage to do so. And I can build up my self-esteem every single step. So that's it. You need to practice what you learned today. Now, for a lot of people, this is where they get stuck. And the number one reason is because they don't have enough accountability. Accountability systems are what make sure you follow through with getting out of your comfort zone and doing the right things that you know are good for you. That's why people hire coaches like myself. People pay me to literally not only teach them all this stuff and guide them through the process and help them get results, but also to just make sure that they're accountable to the things that they say they want. It's really hard when you get stuck in your own echo chamber of your mind because, let's be honest, your mind is clever. And how many times have you had a New Year's resolution? You've tried to start some new positive habit and your mind slowly tricked yourself into falling back in your comfort zone. Oh, I'll just do a cheat meal this one time, or I'll just hit this vape one more time. It's a celebration, whatever thing you've been trying to implement in your life. So that's why accountability systems are huge. At the end of the day, if you want an accountability system, you can find me on Instagram at Coach Oliver Lynch. Follow, DM me, we can chat, I can help you out. But at the end of the day, reps turn theory into results. So it's time to start taking action. And a wonderful action you can take right now is to like, subscribe, comment, and see more content like this. Have a great day.